Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my bell. Oh, look, the microphone's way over here. One of the things that disappoints me in our relationship is I never came up with a nickname for you. I've never had a nickname.
I've never had a nickname.
You've never, it's just Vicky. And then some people say, oh, is that Victoria? And you're like, no, it's Vicky. Vikki. Get it right.
I don't say that.
No, but I have never had a nickname for you. I don't know if I can start. I don't know. Like I don't
It's okay. You do like the nicknames.
I call you mom.
But I don't tell people that they have to get my name right. I released that a long time ago. If they spell my name wrong, it no longer causes me frustration or irritation.
But isn't like I always find like a nickname is a form of endearment. But if I'm,
do you know what else is a form of endearment? Making someone a coffee every morning.
I do that. Thank you. I'm endeared. You are endeared. I was going to ask you, what do you wish you liked better?
What are my options?
Just because I know my answer.
I wish I liked exercising.
Oh, I meant in the food realm. See, I just think food. Yeah, I wish I liked exercise better and being nicer to people. Obviously. I
wish I liked fish.
I wish I liked ribs better. Ribs are great. Like wings. Like I like wings better than ribs. I cooked ribs last night on the smoker. And it's like a 6-hour journey of cooking. And you love ribs. Like you love ribs.
Those were so good.
And the smoke and the bark and the sauce. And like there's so much.
Do you know why they were so good? Is because they were really tender inside. And then they had like crunchy bits on the outside.
We call that bark in the biz,
It's okay that you don't like ribs that much.
I wish I liked ribs more.
It wouldn't be fun to eat ribs with you if you ate them all.
Yeah, true.
So
yeah, you're it's a payoff for you.
And
but
when
you don't
make
like fish.
Ribs, you always make chicken.
Yeah, or steak.
Because you'll have a couple ribs.
Yeah, I like to overdo it sometimes in some areas of my life. Do you? Yeah, you don't like fish. You wish you liked fish better.
Yeah, I wish I liked fish.
Because you like shrimp and you like shellfish.
Yep.
But you don't like fish necessarily.
And yet, I'll throw back a raw oyster.
Yeah, you're confusing.
That's weird. I know. It's weird.
See, I don't dislike ribs. I just wish I liked them better. Like I can eat 5 and then I'm full. Maybe that's all you're supposed to eat. Maybe I like them how I'm supposed to like them.
Yes, I believe that's true, actually.
Like I like 5 and that's it. Is that a half rack? That's a quarter rack. A quarter rack.
No, that'd be like
a third of
a half rack. It's like 6 ribs.
No, like my rack's like this big. All right. No rack jokes. All right. It's September the 10th. It's yours.
Okay.
It's all you. We are going to read our morning devotional, our morning time with our as a couple.
It's September the 10th.
September the 10th. Thank you for joining us. What do you wish you liked better? Answer in the comments. And we're going to get our morning meditation on. And so we're going to take this idea throughout the day and go.
Okay.
Did I cut you off twice? I do that. I wish I could do that less. But
Again, I ask myself the same question as yesterday's. What am I doing with what I have? This query can be applied in many ways. Take, for instance, the faculty of being able to remember. If I have been given the gift of a good, clear memory, how do I use it? It isn't likely that God conferred this gift on me for the purpose of dredging up old wrongs, injured feelings, futile regrets, and personal sufferings. That would clearly be a misuse of his gift when everyone has so many pleasant and satisfying things to remember. Today's reminder: what am I doing with this precious ability to recall what happened in the past? If I use it to remember enjoyments and interesting experiences, it will give me a saving perspective on the problems I am encountering in the here and now. I can also use the gift of memory for storing up today's blessings to tide me over future woes. Let not thy thoughts dwell upon the days of thy sorrows, but rather on those which brought thee brightness and peace. But rather on those which brought thee brightness and peace.
What is that little ditty?
It's a little quote, I guess.
Quote. I have lots of things in my head.
That made me
it
laugh.
Might be the coffee, but
I knew that's exactly where they were going when they started this.
The memory?
If I've been given the gift of a clear memory, how do I use it? And I knew. I was like, oh, that's where this is going. Like, how many times?
I like immediately I thought of two things. One is the story in the Bible where the master gives talents, a bag of money to each person, and the amount varied, and they all multiplied it and they all stewarded it well and made him more money, and they got promoted. And the one guy buried it under the deck so that he would have something to show, and he got in trouble. I think of that like God's given us the gift of memory. And then the other thought I was thinking of, I was like 4 months sober in a recovery home, and me and the boys at the table were talking. Somebody's on the phone right near us, and we were just talking and bringing up memories. And somebody had wired their windshield wiper so that the sprayer would come in through their vent, and they would fill up the windshield washer fluid with vodka and sprayed in his mouth. Just the ridiculousness of our memories of using. And the guy that got off the phone, he said, "My wife just wants you to know that you're all messed up and you deserve to be where you are." And what I've come to know is I don't want to share my addiction with people. I want to share my recovery. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a good reminder that I have a memory and I can use it for the positive. Mm-hmm. But if I'm staying in the memories of my addiction and being caught up in that negativity, then that's really what's going to come out. It's not a good use.
Yeah. And I was listening to a doctor on a podcast, and the doctor was talking about like how we relive trauma. And so I think that through telling story, we actually relive it. And has that ever happened to you where like something will happen today and then all the memories of like these 5 instances come flooding back? You're like, oh, and then this person did that to me and that person did that to me. And it's like you're re-feeling all these things that happened like 10 years ago because they were never resolved. They were never put to bed. And now I'm feeling,
self-pity, insecurity.
Yeah.
Resentment. Yeah. And it actually takes me away from the love of God.
Yeah. And so what I've realized is actually that I have to be intentional about conversation. I need to be intentional about the stories that I tell. I need to actually, just because something the further I go down a healing journey and into recovery, I need to be intentional about what I'm speaking, because I'm actually pulling that to the forefront of my mind, and my body will re-experience you. So if I tell these, terrible stories about things that sometimes there's a purpose for sharing the hard stuff to get into the recovery part. But for the most part, it's like just dramatic retelling.
Yeah.
And my body physically reacts.
I think we need to be sharing our recovery with people and not our addiction. And I thought of something, but I forgot it. See the coffees. No. Yeah, carry on. I'll interrupt you when I remember.
I only had one other thought about, okay, go.
That this isn't about forgive and forget trauma, because there's so much trauma that can affect us and come into our minds, and we relive it. But recovery and the love of God places us in a position of neutrality, that it's not going to keep coming up and poisoning us and separating us from the light of God, but it puts us in a place of neutrality where we can actually have those memories to be useful to others and to actually draw us closer to God.
Yeah. So that along that same point, what I would say is that it's not about pretending what you just said. I'll just re-say what you said in another way. It's not about pretending that these things never happened. It's not about burying them or never bringing them up so that I don't have these bad feelings. It's about working actually through doing intentional work, which I've done, to work through them, to process these things, to take the trauma, do the things with it, get rid of my resentment.
Bearing is actually not a spiritual principle. It's actually an addictive principle, because we don't bury it. We actually rip it out root and branch. God actually rips it out. And so we like to bury things because it's like, okay, well, I'll just forget about it. But it's not about forgetting. It's about accepting and coming into that place of neutrality.
And the place of neutrality really does come. Like I've seen that where memories can come to mind and I don't have the same physical reaction that I used to have. Like I used to be able to feel it in my body. And then, feel myself get like really agitated about something. When I get to that place of neutrality, when I can be at peace in the world, when I can be at peace with my past, when I can be at peace with the things that I've done or that others did, that brings such a freedom, because I used to try to control the outside circumstances so that I wouldn't be negatively affected, right? Because not only would like this circumstance affect me today, but that circumstance that just happened right now is actually going to like bring the full force of the past onto me also. So there was so much control that I needed to have.
That was good. That was heavy hitter right there. No, I think the meditation for today is, how are we stewarding the gifts that God give us? Most of us still have our memories. How are you using that? Are we using that to provoke gratitude and gratefulness, or are we in morbid reflection of the past and we're reliving our addiction and it's causing anxiety and stress and all that stuff? So that's the meditation is, let's use the gift that God gives us in for the good and not the bad.
Thanks so much for joining us. We hope to see you again tomorrow and hope that that'll give you something to consider for the rest of your day.
Keep the peace and be of good behavior. Have a great weekend.